Hi, this is the Heir of Carthage bringing you another Rome Total War online multiplayer battle with commentary. This is fought on the grassy flatlands, as you can see. Here I am playing as the Julii Romans, while my opponent is the armies of Carthage. I'm using what I call the Army of the Emperor for the Romans. I have 5 gold urban cohorts, 4 gold Roman archers, and 4 gold Praetorians. Here I'm flaming his elephants, which are making an immediate charge. The rules were CWB, but apparently my opponent didn't get that. Anyway, I put my men on loose formation, hoping that the elephants would charge through without causing as much damage and then rout. But much to my dismay, they simply charge through and cause a ton of damage to my men, rout some of my archers, which is not good. So in an attempt to mob them, I charge all of my Praetorian cavalry in, trying to get them to run amok. Apparently these are some of the toughest elephants I've ever faced, because normally any elephants I command in this situation would have run amok barely when they ran into my army. So you can see my opponent's taking the sit back and relax while his elephants do the work for him idea. Eventually I'm learning that keeping my men in loose formation is really bad. I don't know why I had that idea. Like I said, I'm not the best player, and this is one of the examples that proves it. Thank goodness I have such a good army. While my men are taking care of those elephants, let's go look at my opponent's army. He has chosen quantity and shock value over quality. My opponent has 4 units of round shield cavalry with absolutely no upgrades, which are basically fodder. He has a spam of Iberian infantry with no upgrades, and if you watched my last video, you'll know that they are going to be able to accomplish very little, because even my Iberians that were fully upgraded accomplished almost nothing. He has 2 units of Sacred Band and 2 units of Pointy, also with no upgrades. He spent all of his money on his elephants, and he didn't even, he had money left over, but he was insisting on starting the battle for some reason. I don't know why he did that. So as you can see, I finally ran his elephants amok. I took my men back into a line and put them in tight formation. Also my cavalry, I'm moving my archers back up from when they routed. This time I'm going to have a different strategy for his next unit of elephants, and I promise that they won't cause that much damage. Elephants are tough, and a lot of times people refuse to let players use them during online battles, but there's really no reason for that, because to some factions the elephants were an accurate unit, and although they are tough, you can deal with them. So here I'm flaming the elephants. They charge in much as I expect, and notice I haven't used my Pila. I'm saving those for his infantry in case I need it. So now I'm going to mob these elephants with all of my men in tight formation and bog them down and run them amok. Also, that's his general unit. Here they rout. When the elephants start to rout, they're easier to kill, so I keep my men in the fight and murder all of his armored elephants.
And now his men fear us. It is time to press the attack.
My opponent accomplished very little in that strike, which is exactly what I wanted. So here I'm warding off these elephants that are running amok with my Roman archers. You can see now he's going to make a foolish frontal assault with only 4 round shield cavalry into the face of an extremely elite and now extremely angry Roman army. So I'm going to run my archers back to protect them, and his round shield are going to smash headlong into my urban cohorts, which is going to accomplish very little. Let us watch. Here they come, and as you can see, many of them die on impact, and now I'm going to run my Praetorian cavalry in to make them all rout, and then I'm going to chase them for a moment to kill as many of them as possible. Round shield cavalry, even fully upgraded, would be no match for an unupgraded Praetorian cavalry. So he had very little hope of accomplishing anything with that, other than maybe getting my archers, but I took them behind my line. So anyway, once again, I'm going to pull my men back into the lines and reform and show him Roman discipline, even though I suffered casualties to his elephants. Now he's charging in all of his Iberian spam, and I thought about just charging them with my Praetorians. I'm pretty sure that I could have taken them all, but I'm going to go ahead and let them come forward a little, and I'm going to hit them on one side with my urbans, and then smash them with my Praetorians and murder the lot of them. So this is really not a good way to use the armies of Carthage. I understand my opponent's strategy, and I guess it could work, but faced with such a quality army like the Romans, the strategy would most certainly almost fail in every case, unless he came smashing in with his elephants and then immediately followed up with a charge by other units while my men were in disarray. Then that might have worked. But like I said, these my troops are very elite, and they will fight. Here you can see his huge mass of Carthaginians becomes a pile of smeared goo on the battlefield underneath my Praetorians and Urbans. And this is a little revenge for their comrades who fell to the elephants. So these Carthaginians are going to pay a price. Here he's regrouped his round shields, to which I quickly answer by saying, "Get off of my battlefield." Apparently those men had a wish for death, and I granted it. All he has left are his phalanx units here, 2 pointy, 2 sacred band, which I can easily defeat with the troops that I have remaining. So I'm going to move my troops up, I'm going to cut out a little bit of this, and I'm going to start recording again in a moment. Okay, so here you can see my opponent has formed his remaining troops into a noob box for all-around protection. This strategy might be good if his troops were a lot higher quality, but they are not because he didn't spend any money to upgrade them. I have archers remaining, and I have all of my Pila for my urban cohorts. So I'm planning on coming up and just showering his noob box with missiles and then charging all of my troops in and routing them immediately through shock value. As you can see, I'm surrounding and getting ready to throw all my Pila. Here, my urbans come up and brush against his sacred bands, and they get scared, probably from fire attacks and whatnot, and they break, which disappoints me. But as you can see, he breaks his noob box, which means that now he's absolutely doomed, as if he wasn't before. These pointy rout immediately, these rout, I'm going to mop them up and then smash his sacred band, which also don't stand a chance against these highly upgraded urbans. So as you can see, my opponent's strategy of charging in for shock value would not work against such an army as I had. That's because the quality was too high. This Roman army that I used is a very good army for beginners online because it's very tough, it's easy to control because it's small, and it's pretty good against many types of armies. So if you're a new player and you feel like using it, give it a try. It's a good game to my opponent, Hannibal, 766. That was a clear victory for me. I had 1,219 kills and my opponent had 389.